Hey guys, welcome back to this series of videos, essential terms you must understand to invest in real estate. Today we're going to be talking about what is NOI, aka net operating income. This is an essential term that you have to understand because it's in literally every single real estate offering or opportunity that you will ever see. NOI is probably one of the most used terms in any income producing real estate. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Johnny Walker. I'm a successful endodontist with multiple practices, as well as a self-made multimillionaire in real estate investing. On this channel, we teach dentists and high net worth professionals how they too can achieve financial independence through investment. Let's get started. NOI stands for net operating income. The formula for net operating income is you take your gross operating income or gross income minus your expenses of operational expenses equals your net operating income. Now let's look at the first part of that equation. What is gross income? What is included in gross income? Say we take a 300 unit apartment building complex. Now the income that comes in is in the form mostly of rent. Everybody presumably pays their rent. So we have 300 families paying rent to live in the apartment building. It also includes other income such as RUBS, racial utility billing services. This is where you actually bill back tenants for their proportionate share of utility services. There's also other forms of income that come in too from apartment buildings. Think about lockout fees, late fees, application fees, parking rental fees, storage fees, etc. These are all different forms that income comes into the property. So those are all included in our gross operating income. Now, the next part of the coin, subtract the operating expenses. What are things that are included in operating expenses? That includes anything involved with running the day-to-day of the property. HR staff, any people that work, any on-site staff, maintenance people, leasing agents, etc. And it also includes any contract services. Any services that are not done in-house, they're contracted out. For example, landscaping, snow removal, pest control. These are all expenses that are also involved through contract services. Repairs and maintenance for things like turnover. This is a cost built into operating a large apartment building complex. Old tenants move out. When old tenants move out, you have to spend money to get it ready to rent out again. This might include carpet cleaning or replacement, painting, appliances, and other maintenance items. You also have to include expenses such as utilities, electric being the biggest one. There's water, sewer, cable, trash. You have to pay for marketing the property, administrative fees, property insurance, management fees, especially if you have third-party management company, replacement reserves. You have to keep money in place for things that will go bad. HVACs, big, huge air conditioners, the roof will need to be replaced at some point. Maybe not in the cycle, but those are expenses that you have to budget for and slowly keep a little bit of money every month. That's included in expenses oftentimes in commercial real estate. And one of the biggest expenses is property taxes. That also comes out of gross operating expenses. So now you subtract all the money that comes in from the property, subtract all the money that's going out to operate the property, and what's left over is called the net operating income. The NOI is not the sole metric that you use to judge if you are going to invest in a property or not, but it's a very indicative one. If you don't have a good NOI, most investors aren't even going to go on to second and third layers of calculations if the NOI does not make sense. Other uses for NOI, besides figuring out the profitability, is lenders use it to see how much cash flow is there and can they make the mortgage payment to the bank. This is done through a ratio called the debt service coverage ratio fee. We'll discuss that in another upcoming video in this series, but NOI is used to calculate that. Is there enough income to service the debt if we lend these company apartment building money? Also, NOI through an inverse relationship through a capitalization rate also is how the value of a property is calculated. So NOI is actually directly proportionate to the value of the property. So that's why NOI is so important for commercial real estate investors. The higher the NOI, the higher the profitability, the higher the returns for investors. But like I said, it has an inverse relationship with another factor called capitalization rate. And that's what we're going to discuss in the very next video. So click on the next video, which goes hand in hand with NOI, and learn how NOI with capitalization rate is how value is determined and how great fortunes are made. All right, see you on the next video, guys.